Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood, Zach Stat Pearson. And today, I'm joined by he whose hair is higher than Snoop, a one, Mugenlord. Mugenlord, why don't you tell them where they can find you and what you're about?
Hey guys, my name is Mugenlord. You can find me on youtube.com/Mugenlord, or you can contact me on Twitter, or I guess you say X or whatever, /Mugenlord as well. I'm pretty much a content creator that, in my name, Mugen, I used to work on like Mugen tutorials. I used to make my own Mugen, mini series, and I had my own show called Mugen TV where I pretty much just review or introduce people into Mugen content and Mugen developers out there that create characters and have whatever projects they have in the works. And then eventually I ended up branching out and just became a variety gaming channel where I just talk about games that I like to play and everything. But ever since things as far as gaming and entertainment has been concerned around, a little bit after, I guess you say 2014, there's been a cultural shift that pretty much tainted my favorite form of entertainment. So I pretty much started, creating, like, I guess you would say, talk about cultural or, social issues that happens or that's changing the gaming industry. So I became more of a cultural war type of YouTube channel / gaming variety channel as well. And I guess you say the rest has been history. I'm also a 3D hentai animator. I have my own 3D hentai little business thing going on as well. And I also started my own comic book company called Venus Orion Comics. I got an LLC. And I'm planning on launching my first comic next year. So hopefully all that will work out. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that being said, if you ever want to turn those comics into an audio drama or something, feel free to let me know. I still do have access to $1 million recording facility, and I could definitely, get you some actors and talent.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'll give you the website to it, but, don't say it out loud because I don't want people, like, hounding my homies.
Yeah.
Because my friends actually work here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you ever want us to wrap something up for you, let us know. And we are 24/7, 365 as well.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, for some reason, I am on Wi-Fi, not Ethernet, despite having my Ethernet plugged up. So I will be right back after these messages. All right. So, a little bit about me or why I picked you. Number one, I don't have a set preference. It's more like I go by how the person presents themselves. No, you don't have to be some, stuck up piece of shit or be extremely popular. And even if you are, hopefully you're not a stuck up piece of shit because more than likely you won't even let me interview you. But it's more like the purpose of my channel has always been to hear a difference of opinion because even though, identity politics, culture wars, social issues can be easily manipulated and corrupted by ignorance on the internet. I was one of the first people to realize, wait a minute, some of these people don't know that they're just listening to someone who's paid to lie to them or paid to make them mad, not paid to find the truth or even acknowledge the truth. They're just paid to essentially be an asshole. Because people think that magically started on the internet. Like, no, that's just been something that's happened ever since TV's been in existence. There have been people who were famous because they were epic talents, and there are people famous because they could get attention by any means necessary. This is not something that's new. But the point is that we like to have differences of opinion or talk to people who are willing to tell us how they came to their conclusions. Maybe they, there's a paradigm shift with them or there's a paradigm shift with me or us as a collective. But for the most part, this is solo, but I am in the group. So if you ever want to join the podcast crew later on at some point, just say the word. Again, it's just 2 button clicks. And if you have ideas or co-op ideas where you want to borrow some of my people, they don't mind it. They're all there because they want to just be entertaining or they just want to learn some new stuff. I have a very big crew, but I also have a very, very unique group mentality. I'll let you guys come up with anything you want to, whether you need me in it or not. But if I'm going to edit it, somebody better be passing me at least a 20 or a 30. But yeah, that's why you're here, because I know that you have unique opinions and you've been able, at least at a bare minimum, I didn't skim, I went through about 3 or 4 videos. You've at a bare minimum been able to express your opinion without purposely trying to A, be an asshole to get attention, or B, it's just based in this is how you feel. You're not saying you're right, but this is how you feel about a particular incident. And you and me had something very similar to say about Sara Bond, which is why I wanted to pick your brain on that specifically, because as I mentioned in your comment section, I don't know if you remember it or not, but I don't fuck with Xbox. I don't hate Xbox players. They're very good at annoying me, but I don't hate Xbox players or Xbox as a concept. But I knew the minute she got her job, you know, it was basically going to be hell on earth for her because of the way she looks. Ignorant people are going to decide she's just bad at her job based on nothing in logic. And if you look at her work history, she only went up by one position. So if she already got that position because she earned it, why is there a problem when someone retires like in a normal company and everyone else gets shifted up? We did that in the military too. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for the audience, that's enough on intro. Let me get into the topics for y'all. Topic 1 may fall into the category of question that never has an exact answer, but if I can find it, I'll die happy. Is there an effective way to convince game companies that characters that have only appeared in one genre or game can do well when put in another format? For example, we all pretty much know Nintendo is allergic to making a new F-Zero game, but everyone else loves Captain Falcon, even if you don't play him in Super Smash Bros. So why not hypothetically make a new game that features those characters set in their world instead of letting them rot in a vault? Second question, what should happen with the good stories if the original creator cannot continue/finish them, whether they're dead or lack interest when they are adapted in other formats of media? And the final question, well, we all knew what this was going to be. It's been very common for both Korean and Japanese authors who It's been very common for both Korean and Japanese authors who suffer a serious injury despite having a team that knows what's supposed to happen with the story, possibly all the way up to the conclusion, to not take over or finish their work when they are medically unable to, or they have died, barring the rare exception of Guts or Berserk, if you will. But should that remain a rarity? Now, let's see. Third, do you think there is anything Sara Bond can do that will actually win over the ignorant masses who play Xbox games, or should she just entirely forsake them and focus on building an audience based on the quality of the work that she is going to create versus the old? Now, before we get into any of these topics, do you have any questions about the ones that have already been stated?
Oh, no. Let's do this.
Happy to hear it. I'm just gonna fix some typos. But yeah, first and foremost, I always let the guests go first. Can you please unload on me how you feel about topic 1?
As far as what developers should do, especially with the characters or the franchises that people will love.
They're still popular. I don't know if you remember this, but well, we may remember this, but Betty Boop is more famous than the business that made her, and she outlived it, and now she's even getting a Broadway play because the character was still usable and had stories and an audience and a following to the point where people wanted to still make more stuff about it, So that was the main reason that question even came up for me. And then I remembered the story about the F-Zero that never was.
Oh yeah.
And I saw the whole documentary.
Yeah, I wanna talk. I guess Nintendo's a perfect example for this because Nintendo even Sega has a lot of IP. We already seen it already what Sega has done with that recent announcement.
Oh, bro, I'm so glad you mentioned that because I was scared to bring it up because I know we'll go on a tangent, but we'll save that for later.
We'll save that for later. But they pretty much answered that question. But with Nintendo's case, and I think it's a perfect ground to start, especially with F-Zero, and they have so many other IPs that lying dormant. And this is more so, I guess you would say, a Nintendo being stubborn, or Nintendo, and even companies in general are very protective over the IPs. But stay on the topic with Nintendo. Nintendo is very cautious of who they want to license out their properties, to. They already acknowledge that people love F-Zero. I think we already seen a perfect example. They did the Battle Royale, was it F-Zero 99 or whatever that you can get on the PlayStation, not PlayStation, I mean Nintendo.
F-Zero 99. Yeah. They basically just saw Tetris and said, what can we do that's like that, but takes no effort?
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it seemed like they do know, because Reggie mentioned it numerous of times when he was, Nintendo of America's president. He does acknowledge that, hey, there's an audience. People want these things, but in Nintendo's sense, they're very, very protective, especially after what happened with the original live action Super Mario Brothers movie. That really, when that failed so bad, it had hurt the name so bad, they have kept a lot of their property, in hand. And I believe Miyamoto even said, like, if they can't figure out what they want to do with the property, because what Nintendo normally does is they say they always want to try something new. They want to innovate with it. And most of the time they say if they can't figure out what new thing they can do with a franchise,
Yeah, they used to
they
want
will
to hire
hold
the
on
people
to
that
it.
will.
Yeah. They try to figure out, they'll hold on to it until they figure it out, or try to find somebody. But yeah, very protected. But anyway, in F-Zero sense, I think that with them doing F-Zero 99, I think that's just a way to see, okay, let's see where the interest is at with this. And then they slowly start incrementing little steps and stuff. But yeah, I would love to see them take their franchises and put it into different scenarios. Like Star Fox. We've seen Star Fox Dinosaur Planet. I, not once in my life, ever thought of seeing Star Fox go into a whole different medium at that time, especially
I
on the
actually
game.
did. It was weird.
It was, I bought the game. I enjoyed it. It was like
Yeah,
Ocarina of
they didn't
Time, but with
understand
Star
the
Fox.
concept of there should be something to do after you beat the game. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember because it was actually pretty simple, and I almost figured out how that game came into existence when I was a kid before they actually explained it. There was an adventure game that they were making on a dinosaur planet, but
Yes.
but they had like humanoid, or I guess you would call them heteromorph,
Mm-hmm.
fox characters and mammals, and for some reason that game got canceled. So then someone picked it up and just literally put Star Fox aesthetics over it, and that's how we got that game. But I
I
remember reading
it.
about that original game in
Oh
Game
yeah,
Informer.
in Game Informer. Yeah, I read it. It was Dinosaur Planet. It was supposed to come to the N64, and then we heard nothing of it ever since. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and then all of a
I
sudden,
remember that
boom,
whole thing.
this.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it would be a good idea if they to get more people interested in it. Try to put them in different genres. I mean, Mario has been in different genres like sports, go karting and everything like that. But to see F-Zero and something else, because I remember, I haven't made a video about it, but I always talked about it, within my Discord and even with my brothers. I always said that with F-Zero, and even at the time where we wasn't really getting Metroid games, I was saying Metroid or will be pretty cool, or even F-Zero will be pretty cool, like on a Mass Effect where you go to different planets, talk to different races and species, and you could go to your shop, set up your car, and race on different planets and stuff. And even with Metroid, I was thinking like a Mass Effect type of game they could do to pretty much branch out into that, to a different audience. And then, that'd be a perfect way to bring people into other, aspects of the Metroid franchise, or even the F-Zero franchise and stuff like that. Even with Kid Icarus, man, I would love to see another Kid Icarus game. I mean, the 3DS, I wasn't really too fond of it being like a pretty much an on rails and semi shooter. I was more so expecting it to be more close to like a Zelda game. But yeah, I would like to see them, developers in general, just take them out, put them in different franchises or different genres, just to see, what can they do, to bring people in. They did it with Zelda with the was it the Hyrule Warriors, which I do enjoy the Hyrule Warriors franchise. And because some people may not like Zelda games, but they like to play those Musou games. It's like Dynasty Warriors, and that's the way to induct people in them, because it worked with the Dragon Quest. I never played any of the Dragon Quest games. I know of them. I have people I know people who play the Dragon Quest games, but I was really never into the Dragon Quest games at all. But when they did their little, Dragon Quest Heroes, especially Dragon Quest Heroes 2, I ended up buying that game, and I liked every last bit of it. Because there's a bit of role playing in it, and it had a bit of that Dynasty Warriors, hybrid, connection. And just because I end up playing that and end up liking it, I was like, hell with that. I want to see what Dragon Quest is about, and end up buying Dragon Quest 11 for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I think that'll be pretty cool, man. Like if developers should give it a try. And I mean, they already did it with Namco Bandai. They teamed up before, and plus they made a new studio together, Nintendo and Bandai Namco. So who knows? We could start seeing some Star Fox. We could start seeing a new F-Zero from here on out. You could give it to capable hands that can pretty much do something better with it. So yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, as far as how to convince them of essentially, topic one, how to convince them to actually divest into other genres. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a direct route because time and, well, people coming out of the woodworks once contracts have expired have basically led me to believe these mugs don't seem to understand the concept. And unfortunately, this is very habitual. Nintendo is like the old motherfucker in the room who's trying to do something that he used to do on pen and paper that he now has to do on the internet. And instead of learning how to do something simple on the internet, they'd rather bitch and moan and say, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. Now, I know that sounds very pessimistic, but again, I'm going off of literal research. Oops. So my phone wasn't on sound to vibrate. I'm going off of literal research that I've been doing on and off for 5.5 years. Right? So one of the earliest things I learned was that the Japanese branch is extremely volatile to people who make fan games. Now, despite what the American branch says and does, we all know, or at least the adults in the room know, that I don't care how, supportive of the concept of people can get married who aren't the same sex is in any way, in shape, and form. That is never carried over to the Japanese departments and the Japanese branches, or any departments or branches who don't openly state the same. Because I can tell you right now, almost every company that has a Russian division, and whether it's from America or it's from Korea or Australia, they do not have any form of respect, and they could even terminate, or if they wanted to, someone for, being any faction of LGBT plus whoever comes after the T. There's a lot of letters in that situation. I just say plus because I don't know them all. Not even gonna pretend that I do. But that's just how they are. They are very, very fucking stubborn. However, when it comes to people whom they've already worked with and they respect and trust and has literally been even allowed to get in the physical office, those kinds of people, they will tell them still no without an explanation. Or they'll say, well, we already have this product that does this same thing. Why make a second one? I'm like, that is the dumbest logic that only Nintendo has. Let me ask you something. How many fighting games that has Capcom made that weren't called Street Fighter? But Nintendo has that exact same library of characters that can be malleable like that. And they'll just think, well, we already have one. Why make a second? That's not even good reasoning, because first off, you already have Zelda in 3D. Why still make 2D Zelda games? Why make handheld Zelda games when you can just make a brand new one in 3D? Why are you making more than one Zelda game at a time? Like, they don't even understand how ignorant their own logic is until it blows up in their face. And I hate to say it, they're not going to learn this lesson until they get burned. That's why the Switch is so insanely good. Because Kimishima, the president interim after, what's the one that died? Satoru Iwata died, right? He said before he even died and before he had a terrible condition, hey, this is a bad idea. We are not adapting to the needs of the modern gamer. We are not putting in things that make our games worthy of the title, the best games in the world, etc., etc. We're not conforming to modernity. Yes, that's a paraphrase. But he was right. Excuse me. But he was right. And the Wii U was hot booty garbage. Let's be honest. It had good games, but that's not the problem. It's when people don't even know what your system looked like, so they thought it was a tablet screen. It's when people see your advertisement and your marketing for your games, and almost none of them aren't something that a die-hard, hardcore person wasn't already gonna get, like a Mario or a Yoshi game or a Kirby game, waiting on Zelda for the umpteenth billionth time. There was nothing there. Oh, we got Bayonetta. That was it, though.
Yeah, it all boils down to what I'm starting to realize, especially with today's era, with game companies and stuff. It all boils down to money. What's going to make them money? And you brought up a perfect example, Capcom. Yeah, Capcom had a lot of fighting games, but today Capcom don't have a lot of fighting games. All they have is Street Fighter. All the other games that we've seen back in the day, Darkstalkers, Rival Schools, Saturday Night Slam Masters, all
Damn,
those,
deep
they're
cut.
all yeah, all those fighting games that I grew up and loved, we do not see them no more. Is because why? Those games did not make them the money that Street Fighter made them. And as long as they ain't gonna make them that money, they won't. They will shelf them, and that's what these, like, especially what Nintendo's doing. F-Zero don't make them money, no matter how many people scream, cry that they want F-Zero. They look at the math and say, I don't know.
They never fucking marketed. Like, F-Zero in its entirety has only ever had 2 commercials. They had one commercial for the Super Nintendo version, and they had one commercial for the GameCube game. And that was where they left it. They got good reviews. They just didn't want to do it because, unfortunately, that game came out around the same time as what was considered at the time to be the greatest Mario Kart game ever, Mario Kart Double Dash. So they're not even, it's not like the shit wasn't even profitable. Their issue was it didn't make enough money, or why don't we just take these good ideas and put them over here in something that already exists and then slap a Mario on it, or slap a Donkey Kong or a Kirby or a Zelda on it. I'm sorry, no, a Link on it. And I'm just like, that's not how you fucking build franchises. Yeah, all you did was make entirely different game genres that characters who didn't need to be there represent.
Yeah.
And then you get mad when people want to do shit with the characters you don't give a fuck about. First and foremost, even if you don't trust your fans, if there's a whole nother developer who will tell you, I will do this shit for you, literally, I will do this for you, at least give them a small budget and say, okay, you're gonna make something small. You could start off small and build something up that makes a tremendous amount of money. And that's one of the worst things about a lot of these Japanese companies. They're not going based off of necessarily the CEO thinks it won't make money. They're going off of, oh, who's been here the longest, or who do I like? Let me have this guy be in charge of R&D, or be in charge of what games are greenlit and not greenlit. And then if they have a personal vendetta against somebody, or if they don't like a game in particular, they will fucking stop it. The main reason we didn't get a new Darkstalkers wasn't even because of money. It was because literally Keiji Inafune was cock blocking the people that wanted to make it. And I mean that in a literal sense. People forget, Keiji Inafune was not just guy who made Mega Man. He got promoted over time when they had a mass exit of employees that left Capcom, right? He was one of the last truly big people or big names to leave Capcom. Barely has done anything credible since then. Man is basically, if he was a human being who was born in America, he would be some hardcore conservative saying painfully stupid shit, stuck in his ways, but he can't make anything new to save his life. Or let me phrase that, something that's not 2D to save his life. He literally would tell people, go talk to the guy who used to make Street Fighter games. He was always running around with that Blanca doll. Go talk to that guy and tell him that you want a new one. Here's the problem. Keiji Inafune is his boss. He got put in charge of development, meaning he's the person who can get something greenlit or not. And then when he left, he started snitching on Capcom. Almost every game that he wanted to get made, he had to almost trick them into making. One of them being Lost Planet. He basically told them, well, we spent too much on developing the prototype, $400,000 or something. We might as well turn this into a full game if we want to break it even. Otherwise, it's a $400,000 loss. You literally just admitted you manipulated your own boss into creating something by burning up his money. First and foremost, I would sue you for that. But if this is the guy who they put in charge of one of their development bureaus, mind you, he was probably going to get let go anyway, or unassigned, as they say, because almost everything that you saw that sucked or didn't look like a regular Capcom game, he was basically responsible for that shit. And I mean not in a literal sense. DMC, yeah, that was his call. That wasn't something that Itsuno decided. That was literally him telling Itsuno, oh, make a new one, but don't make it like the old ones. It was weird. Same with Dead Rising. Mind you, he the one who created it. The man barely even showed up at Capcom Canada to do Dead Rising 3, and they overworked their team. Like, these companies don't understand until they get burned, but this is a weird one because Nintendo has a situation where they almost can't get burned. If they have a character or franchise that shows up in another character or franchise, or they slap a paint of Mario or Zelda aesthetics over something that everyone else wanted with some other characters, they've told themselves it made money because they were there, not because people wanted this type of game from them. So they've basically put themselves in a loop where there's never a situation where these old franchises and genres get to come out and be out and make money, because their answer is, oh, well, these are some cool ideas, but since you signed this contract, I can take these ideas now and I'm going to put a fresh coat of paint on them, and I'm going to put them in Mario Kart, I'm going to put them in Splatoon, etc., etc. And I just keep thinking to myself, as like, man, they're generally trapped. Now the only way that this shit happens is if we do a situation like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. We don't care what you're going to do. We don't trust you with your own genres and your own game franchises. We're going to make something that is literally trying to be exactly what you used to be. Now, you either gonna realize that, oh shit, they wanted this so much, they'll make it they damn self, we better get on it, or you're just going to lose out. And so far, as we've learned, they're basically like, well, I guess we're gonna do it. That's a messed up way to go about things. Oh, we want more remakes of Resident Evil, not just the original one. Oh, let's cancel the one that was already being made and have those same people work on our team. Oh, shit. Damn. People really, really like Jet Set Radio. How old was that damn game? Well, let's not do shit with it. 4 people, 4 different groups and organizations have come up to Sega, and tried to get a Jet Set Radio 3 made. 3 different times, Streets of Rage 4 was made, proposed to Sega, and they said no, and they don't give a fucking reason. That's the worst part. This ain't a job interview. You can tell us why you don't want to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this really old game for the PlayStation called Fighting Force. Do you?
I got that. I got that on PS1. Yeah.
That was supposed to be Streets of Rage 3. I mean, 4.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah, literally, that was supposed to be Streets of Rage 4, but Sega pulled out. And that's how it is. Someone has to embarrass Nintendo. Someone has to embarrass Sega. Someone has to embarrass Capcom enough to say, look, I'm gonna make this thing that you keep saying that you don't want to do, or you will not acknowledge that people want. And then after they realize, shit, they're getting attention, and we can't sue them out into oblivion. Well, you can, but you have to find them first. We're going to go make this thing now. That's the only way I think to do it. But, you know, enough said about that level of unfortunate pain, the better. All right, moving on to the second question. What do you think should happen with stories that aren't able to be completed by their original creator? Like, are you okay with them just flat out ending, or do you want to at least see somebody try to put a bow on it?
All right, that's a good question, because I don't know. I guess it depends, because if they're not going to do it right after the original creator had passed away, then I'd rather them just flat out just end it. But in my personal opinion too, at the same time, I think what a creator should do is have a protege, you know, have somebody under their wing in case, because this is a common occurrence. Like, a lot of these manga writers, anime creators, or whatever, just always get sick, or they pass away, or whatever the case may be. I think that should be something they should keep in mind. Have somebody that's under the wing that knows everything about what they're doing. So in case something like that happens, that person can pretty much take over and, you know, act out on the rest of that series or the rest of that manga storytelling and everything. But I guess it just depends, in my personal opinion. If they ain't going to do it right, just end it. Just end it if they're not going to do it right. But if they do have somebody or have a group of people that can do the job and carry on that vision of that said creator, then I'm all for it. Go ahead, continue it. Don't drop it off, you know? And it does hurt. It does sting when that happens, where it just cancel abruptly. Because like Dead Man Wonderland, that anime, I like the anime, not the manga. I didn't read the manga, but I might end up reading the manga. But the anime, man, it just ended, because something about the creator, I think it's a woman who created the anime, if I can remember, that once she had got pregnant, she just stopped altogether or whatever, and then that was just the end of it. And then it was another anime called Kaze no Stigma that only had 1 season, and I believe the creator had died as well, or something like that. And I was into it, and it just abruptly just ended, and that was just the end of it. And I was like, man, like that kind of sucked. That's unfortunate. And no matter how much I want them to continue, if they don't have, like I guess you say the genius, or they don't have the talent to just pick up where the creator had left off, then I guess just leave it the way it is,
Okay, I can respect that. You'd rather see it drown in the ocean than live and suffer.
Yeah, I love to remember it how it was, than to remember it being something garbage that other creators that people took and then took it farther and just made it garbage. Then I'm like, man, they just ruined the legacy right there, So like I said, it just depends. If they can get somebody the talent, yeah, go ahead, shoot for it. That's a good thing. But if they don't have faith or confidence in it and they want to destroy it, then no, just let it die. Just let it end where it's at.
Well, as far as me, first and foremost, before I say this, I'm gonna acknowledge that this question wasn't inherently designated at Japanese media. Mm-hmm. It was good media in general. But okay. I will state for the record, I've said on this channel multiple times that the way those motherfuckers are treated, as far as manga artists, who are usually also the writers, are concerned, is the definition of a human workplace violation. Mm-hmm. It would not be and is not legal in North America, and somebody gonna catch a felony, and I mean that literally. If we're at a point now where there are organizations, charitable organizations, that are trying to get donations from people to subsidize the cost of living for the people who draw and animate and write these things, there is an inherent object problem. But it's also worse when half these bastards still take these deals. Now, I'm gonna toss out a name that everyone loves, but I knew not to invest in because I knew how the artist was being treated and how fucked up their life was. Hunter x Hunter. That dude has an entire team of people. He can hire artists who can mimic or get close to emulating his art style. Let's be honest, it ain't exactly exotic. But for some reason, he worked himself to the bone. And I apologize for people who think I'm making that pun intentionally. This man has a spinal problem now because of how he was working in deadlines that were completely unrealistic. These were not self-inflicted injuries. He didn't say, no, I have to purposely spend 30 hours doing a half of a page when my deadline is coming up in 3 or 4 days. No. He had realistic issues from the start. Also, editor-in-chiefs can come in and make you do whatever the fuck they want to at the last minute. Fun fact, that's how we got Android 17 and 18 now.
Yeah, Dragon Ball, yep.
Yeah, oh, you already know about it. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. So fucking, I don't like that these companies are allowed to get away with this shit. Don't get me wrong, some of these people are mentally disturbed and they just happen to get lucky, and some of them are just completely okay and they're a little bit too comfortable, in my opinion, with sexualizing minors on the regular. Because despite what, people like to pretend and bullshit, it took a long time, 1999, but Japan did finally get sexual assault for minors on the book. And some of these people, they just get off scot-free with anything they do or they've done, or they know that their company is doing abusive things to them, and then they fucking still let it happen. I've never heard in my life a show getting a remake when the show didn't even finish. Hunter x Hunter is possibly literally the only show in the entire history of mankind to literally get a remake when it's incomplete. That's fucking weird. And it's all because, for some reason, both the company and the writer are not letting or subcontracting other people to finish where they left off. But when it comes to a written novel, that's the first thing they'll do. I like Bleach, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not stupid. I know how this shit works. 99.9% of the anime fans I will ever meet in my life do not want to read the books because their attention deficit, let's be honest. But Bleach also has supplementary novel material. But I promise you, none of them will read it. They will just bug me to tell them what happens in it, or they'll go look up a YouTube video, because that's how you support a book, by going and reading a fucking YouTube video that tells you everything, because that's smart, right? So I don't get why they do it. I honestly don't. It disgusts and disturbs me. So the way I feel, I would rather make a ambiguous ending. Like, you acknowledge that the journey is not complete, but you wrap it up for the time being. Because maybe the child will come along and they have things and they know things, which would happen with J.R. Tolkien, or the guy who made The Lord of the Rings. He didn't finish everything. In fact, one of the most notable things about the series is that there are technically vampires in the Lord of the Rings world, Middle Earth. But guess what? They only get mentioned on like one page in one book. Then his son picked up on it, started writing some stuff. Same with Dune. Dune was not finished. The writer died too, but his son picked up on stuff. You know?
Okay, I ain't doing any of that. So,
yeah, I know, but that's because, well, I mean, we're not the age group for it, but before there was Star Wars and Star Trek, the biggest name in sci-fi was legitimately like anything what like Jodorowsky did. It was Dune. So a lot of the older folks know Dune was like a long time coming, because there were so many people that said it's almost impossible to make a good movie out of Dune, or it's impossible to adapt the entirety of Dune to any form of film or series.
Right.
And many people have tried. There's been like 4 different Dunes. We just didn't know about it because it was so woven into sci-fi. It didn't hit pop culture until recently. It hit nerd culture, but that's not pop culture. Those two things are not aligned all the time. I keep trying to convince people of this. So I would rather them get an ambiguous ending to summarize, and possibly someone who the rights holders trust and have proven track record of making a good story can continue them.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see it happening.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Ambiguous ending. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Now, let's go to the one that we both know we was going to spend a lot of time on. Well, first and foremost, I know you don't know what I look like. Give me about 2 or 3 minutes and I'll fix that. But I can honestly say, just from growing up, even though I'm up north, so, you know, if somebody going to be racist, they're going to be looking over their shoulder and they're not expecting to get away with it. I can tell you point blank, I feel nothing but the deepest of sorrow for her, and I strongly, genuinely empathize with her as an adult, let alone as a minority in this country, or just, you know, I'm not a woman, but because I know, we both know what can get said when they're not in the room. There's a difference between people who genuinely respect someone, regardless of their sex, and someone who's just putting on a face because they feel like, you know, they're not with the boys yet. You know, that type of bullshit logic. So I feel bad. I honestly feel bad for Sara Bond. But whilst I'm looking up pictures and, you know, rehearsing some shit, go ahead and tell me if you think there's anything she can do. I honestly feel like it's a lost cause and it's not her fault, but I'll elaborate more soon enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, now that she's in this position, and I would say it's a lost cause trying to convince people. Right, what she has to do is just prove that she can do the job. Because moving on forward, right here, this is all the decisions that Xbox is going to have moving forward. As far as exactly moving forward, it's all going to fall on her. And like I said in my video, like, people's already shitting on the leadership on Xbox too. So this is not going to be like that much like drastic because people was already shitting on it. Now we just got a new person and a new face, and there's like a twofold. I always said about this, and even in my video I kept telling people, like, listen, like, she wasn't the only one that was upgraded, that went up. Everybody that's beneath her had upgraded into a spot. Her boss had moved up in position, which only makes logical sense for her to move up too. So it's not not that it was a diversity move or to make the company look good or whatever like that. This woman had been around for quite some time, and like I said before, a lot of that is the blame on journalism and a lot of these articles that people will post every time you have a minority that's in a position of power. A lot of these journalists don't acknowledge any of their, I would say, like I said, their accolades. Most of it is just about their skin color. And then, like I said, like the moment Sara Bond had got in position as well, there's even a lot of black journalist sites that just celebrated her color, and also she's a woman as well, rather than the things that she has accomplished. And that does more harm to minorities than ever before because of this current social political climate that we're in. And the response and the backlash, and like I was telling my viewers too, I was saying that, hey, like this could be a totally different case. This may not be a whole diversity thing, because I've researched this woman. I mean, she does have some credentials before she even got into Microsoft. She's been in Verizon, she's been in AT&T and many of these other companies, and she has shown improve. This is just the first time she's stepping into a video game space, and I think she should be allowed to have that chance to be able to, you know, see what she can do. But the journalists and a lot of these other sites and these people that you see on Twitter, they just post her in that she's a black woman, and that does not help at all, because right now, like I said, what's going on with the whole anti-woke side of things and stuff like that, people are getting tired. People are getting burnt. People are burnt out. So now people are lashing out now. Like the moment they see a person of color, or a moment they see a woman, or a moment they see something from LGBTQ, that's the first thing their mind is going to go to, because we've been since 2014, since the whole Anita Sarkeesian and all this other type of movement started just ushering in our entertainment. People have been sitting down just eating this shit. We just been sitting down, just been taking it. And, you know, the journalists were on these people's side and everything. And people were getting tired of being villainized for having these opinions. So now they have gotten so polarizing. Now that they see anything that could possibly resemble wokeness, people are going to lash out at it. But the biggest issue is, too, we still have a group of people that's within this movement that's using this movement to also to exploit, you know, their racism or their sexism and stuff like that as well. And that these people we have to cast out, because it doesn't do the anti-woke movement any good when you have people who's just using that as a shield to exploit how they really feel about minority groups as, you know, as well. Because these people, no matter what you do, you can never satisfy these people at all. So even if this person,
I'm looking through your comments. That's very true.
Yeah. So even if Sara Bond is qualified and have been proven to be qualified, you're going to have those group of people try to call it woke, but at that point is no, you're just a racist, or you are a sexist. You are a sexist at this point, you know. And that's what I try to make people realize, because I was talking on my stream during the Game Awards before I get this, just to bring it home. I was watching the live stream at the Game Awards, and we was looking. It was something. It was a preview of something they were showing, and then they had this Japanese streamer on the screen, and they was wearing a mask. And then I had some people, not everybody, but I had some people in my comment section saying, "Oh, here we go, mask propaganda, this, that, and the third." And I was
blocked them immediately. They're not even educating.
No. In my streams, I allow people to voice their opinions, whether I agree with it or not. You know, unless you're harassing somebody, that's totally different. But no. You're allowed to voice your opinion. I don't care what it is, you know. I don't care what it is. If you're a lefty, if you're a person from the right side, it doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome here, even if it irritates the fuck out of me. As long as you're not harassing anybody, that's perfectly fine with me. So what happened was, I said, how's that mass propaganda? I said, you do know Japan and many other Asian countries, they've been wearing masks.
Yeah, it's considered polite to wear a mask if you're sick.
Yeah, they've been wearing masks before you know the pandemic was ever a thing. I said, especially if you a person that's part of the fighting game community, you look at Evo, you see a lot of these
people always in masks.
Always, they get on stage
like from the 90s.
Yeah, they get on stage and play at Evo and all these fighting game events. And when I was younger, I was like, why are they wearing a mask? Are they sick or something? But having a lot of Asian friends who go over, you know, who go see family over there, they was also explaining, you know, if they have a cold or sometimes even pollution in some areas and stuff like that, they wear those type of masks and stuff. And that's just their mentality of being courteous to others. So that's less of a propaganda type of thing over there. They've been doing it before. They've been doing it before the pandemic. So I was explaining that to that person that was in my chat. I said, no, like I said, this is the thing, guys. You can't get so wrapped up in this. I understand some of you guys are tired. You're frustrated about a lot of things that's been happening in our media, things going woke and stuff, but you can't allow this anti-woke shit consume you as well, because then you're no better than that other side as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to look at everything objectively, and that's what I do. So with the Sara Bond situation, I looked at it objectively. I try to get people to understand, say, yo, let's look at the information that's here. She wasn't the only one that was upgraded to president of Xbox, because she had a person that she had to answer to that was above her. He was the president, but he moved up a rank. So you need somebody to fill in that spot. Who's the next person to fill in that spot? Her. She's the next person in line. It's a common business sense. So I said, guys, you have to look at this objectively. Sometimes set the political stuff aside for a second. Set it aside and look at it objectively. So she's been here. She's been in Microsoft since 2017 or 2018. She's been here for some time. So it's only right that she's going to move up. And then the spot that she was in, a white male got that spot now. He's in her spot. And she just moved up. Everybody moved up. So it wasn't like they just picked her out of the crowd and nobody else upgraded. Everybody within the company have upgraded, you know? So I say you can't allow that to blind you. You can't allow that to consume you and just jump to those conclusions. And like I said, I try to do my best to try to get as much research as possible before, I go out and put that news, because I try to be as objective as possible.
Like, no pun intended. We're the minority in that situation. No pun intended. When we go and research people or we research topics, other people ain't doing that. They're going off of knee-jerk reactions, and they're going off of stereotypes or unknown racism, which is a new thing that apparently a lot of people don't know about, which I keep telling ignorant people. You can be manipulated into being racist even if you A, think you're not racist, or B, are not racist. Just because you're not racist doesn't mean there isn't someone who wants to recruit you. Recruitment is a legitimate thing. And then they'll say, nah, you bullshit. And I was like, oh, you're going to tell the person who deals with racism actually in real life that I'm bullshit? Okay, well then here's the proof. Half of them will understand, oh shit, I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Just because, I have my mindset and what I've experienced doesn't mean I don't know when I can't preemptively see shit coming. But also, I still gave you proof. Half of them will actually accept it. The other half don't care. They just don't want to feel right. That's where I have a fucking problem. When people willfully choose to be ignorant. But sorry for interrupting. Continue.
Oh, yeah. So, and even with the whole Baldur's Gate thing, I had this one video that blew up when they first introduced the whole bear sex. You can have sex with a bear.
Yeah, my Baldur's Gate video is still blocked.
Yeah. And I made a video. I was like, yo, man, like, this is what I'm talking about. This stuff is okay, but you can't have a voluptuous, beautiful woman and without, everybody being called incels and all this other type of stuff. But anyway, Asmund Gold had covered my video. That's what blew my channel up even farther, because he's seen the video and he totally agreed with what I said. But when we talked about in the Game Awards and stuff like that, and there were some people in my chat, that was talking about how, Baldur's Gate, shouldn't have got the game award, the game of the year.
I didn't play it, but as far as I'm concerned, they earned it. But people feel how
check this out. So people was talking about, like, we know why they got it, because of the the degeneracy, you haven't able to have sex with bears and all that type of stuff. I said, guys,
that's not why they got that. They actually said that.
Yeah, you had some people in my chat. Not everybody. You had some, and I said, guys, we have to. I said, yo, let's tone it back a bit. I said, let's look at it from the merits of the game itself. Let's just push the political stuff out. Just kick that to the side for a second. Yeah, I disagree. I don't like that whole aspect, but let's look at it objectively as a game. Base the game on its merits. When it comes to Baldur's Gate 3, no one can deny that it is a great game. And despite how I feel about certain aspects, I'm going to eventually play the game. I have too many games, backlogs of games, but eventually I'm going to play that game. But I told these viewers that you have to look at it objectively. Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game. It's a great game. Everybody talks about it. You can literally do almost anything in the game. You can literally do almost anything. Storytelling, exploration, the many different choices and options that you have, people loved it. So if you base it just on those merits alone, yes, it rightfully so deserved to get the game of the year out of all the games that was actually presented, as the nomination for game of the year. So like I said before, you have to not get consumed by this shit. But like I said, there's just some people within this crowd who legitimately is racist and stuff and will use this movement to pretty much exploit how they really
want to learn. They want to hate.
Yeah, so I try to tell people we have to get rid of these people or call these people out, because like I said, I'm being consistent. I'm being consistent as far as how I feel. Like I said mentioned before, like even with Daily Wire, like Daily Wire,
Yeah.
you know, they got their own TV shows and movies and
Yeah,
stuff like
they
that.
are
And
legitimately bad. Even if I
yeah,
didn't, even if I gave a shit about the right wing, they would still be bad movies. They're actually genuinely terrible.
like and as I said in my tweet, I said they one of the movies, the movie they did about, you know, making fun of the whole, you know, men going in as women and to play sports and stuff. I said, yo, like, I believe that, you know, biological women should play, you know, should have, you know, should trans women have no place to be in a sports with biological women. That's what I believe. But with that being said, if you look at South Park did a real good job of making fun of a lot of the wokeness, you know, in it, and he's able to execute it. It's not a political you know, show, you know, no, it's not. It's a comedy show, but it's not a political show. Let me try
to interpret what you're saying. What you're saying is that South Park was able to actually make fun and jokes about it without it being interpreted as inherently malicious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much with the Daily Wires movie. It's malicious. One. It's preachy, and all you're doing the same thing that the woke side is doing. But you're doing it on your side. You're not offering an alternative. You're just like, hey, we doing this to get back at the wokies. It's the same thing with the wokies do. Like, yo, we getting back at the right. But you're not producing. Your whole goal was that we just want well-crafted stories, and we wanted entertainment that everybody can enjoy. But then you turn around and make entertainment that only your side will enjoy, or that you're only catering to your base. You're not trying to make
it. That's exactly the biggest problem with Daily Wire. They don't seem to understand that their political opinions do not translate to good entertainment outside of political bullshitting. So the minute they have to use their logic in a movie, in a radio show, in a book, in a novel, it falls apart. Not because no one wants to hear their bullshit. 90% of people don't. The problem is that you didn't make a good product in the first damn place because your main goal was just to be an asshole.
And that's the problem. I said, look, what you're doing is you're only preaching to the choir. You're preaching to people who already agree. You're preaching with people who already agree with you.
Echo chamber.
It's an echo chamber. And I was like, yo, when I seen the trial, I said, yo, like, yeah, I agree with some of the things that's in here, but it's not funny. I want to laugh. I still want a funny. I still want a great story. But all it is just political. Is just political on the other side, mags as calling it comedy when it's really not comedy. You're just pretty much preaching to us. You pretty much doing the same thing that you claim the other side is doing. So we're not really getting, as a viewer, as a person that want to be entertained, you know, like you're not giving me anything. This is not really an alternative.
Give you a better movie too, old school too. Shallow Hal. Just gonna.
I know. I know Shallow Hal.
They had the best representation, at least at the time, of a trans person in a movie. Like, and it was only like 2-minute sequence, and it was still like one of, if not the best part of the movie.
So it goes to show, like, even like I did a video talking about Street Fighter 6 woke, and that really did good too. That really did some numbers.
Yeah, I don't understand that concept.
Yeah. Well, people, because you know,
what was it? Top Hat game. That is the weirdest shit ever. I don't know. I think he started that. So I don't know if you heard of Top Hat Gaming, but I don't hate the guy, but I'm starting to like disrespect him to the point of I don't think I'm gonna subscribe to this man be subscribed to him too much longer. He started that shit, or he's one of the first people to amplify that shit unnecessarily. Like, somebody decided that because some character got changed, or they're ambiguous, one of the narrator characters. Oh, is this game being woke? Especially look at their color scheme. Ooh, is it woke? Do you have a problem with woke? Let us know in the comments. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking fighting game. Woke does not apply to a fighting game. And if a fighting game was woke, don't nobody care if it's a fucking good ass game. All you're doing is stirring up a base of ignorance who want to hate for the sake of hating, and you want to profit from it. I'm like, this is the cycle I've been telling people they need to watch out for. Dumbasses will try to make something political, or they will try to make something fit into a political category when its job was just to entertain, and it was not trying to be political entertainment. And then dumbasses will believe it, amplify the noise, and then suddenly the vocal minority becomes the 100% perception, and then we end up back where we started with assholes trying to call out assholes. Except now you put Street Fighter 6 in them. It's a fucking fighting game inherently cannot be fucking political. So if someone thinks a fighting game is political, it's because somebody manipulated a bunch of idiots into believing it. But no one wants to fucking believe me.
Yeah, well, like I said before, like, yeah, like, so in Street Fighter 6, my argument was, I was asking the viewers, was it woke or not? Now, I had to point out the suspects, so it would make people think something is woke, because I was like, okay, we'll go through the first thing. The first thing was that what they have done to with Chun-Li and Cammy. It was people arguing that they pretty much censored Chun-Li and Cammy by making them fully clothed.
Because you can't get their same old outfits for DLC.
Yeah. Now, this is what I said. I said, all right. I said, guys, I was like, look, check this out. Now, let's just dial it back for a minute. Think about it for a second. Not only that you're able to get the classic outfits, not only are you able to get that, but also for the fact is that Cammy was able to get her classic outfit back, it also pissed off the woke journalists who said, "Oh, sexism is back. Why did Capcom bring back the bodysuit and objectify Cammy once again?" It pissed them off or whatever like that. So one, it pissed them off for bringing it back. So it can't be woke for them covering up when that is actually an option to have Cammy's classic there. So they didn't remove it. You still have that option. And then, like I said, I made a perfect example of how there's some people who don't know shit about the franchise or the series, and they just come in and call it woke and don't even know the history of it.
Exactly.
Because this one guy came in and talked about Chun-Li. You know, like they covered up her legs and yada yada yada. And I was like, dude, I mean, if you're a fan of Street Fighter, then you would know that Chun-Li always had a main outfit where she has a full-on tracksuit, and that was in Street Fighter Alpha. And in fact, that was my favorite suit. Not because she was covered up, but that suit actually showed the definition of her feminine form. She's very athletic.
You phrased that very, very elegantly. I give you props for that. You avoided saying exactly what everyone was thinking.
Yeah, so the guy, he said nothing else, and I showed the picture. I said, "Here's the picture. She always had this outfit. Like, this is Street Fighter outfit. Like, dude, are you a fan? Are you a fan of Street Fighter or not? Like, dude, if you don't know anything, then shut the fuck up. Like, you don't like that doesn't make any sense." So it does invite those type of people who just come in and just jump into something.
Like they want to hate for the sake of hating.
Yeah,
like the ignorance. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I can't fuck with that. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older now. I mean, I'm not an old man, but I'm at a point now where, man, when I see ignorant people, I only want to say one time, listen, do you understand that your opinion does not correlate with objective fact? Your opinion can only correlate with objective fact when you state something that is an objective fact. Number one, woke doesn't have a set definition, and when it did have one set definition, it was literally manipulated, ironically, by the people who hate the concept of it to make it sound like something else, or to make it sound like you're only woke if you're petty or you're insecure. It doesn't have a definition that is concrete because too many people who are assholes popularized a corrupted, dirty definition. Here's the original definition, and the only reason I know that is because I actually had a friend who was an etymologist. For those who don't know, that's someone whose job it is to literally study the history of words. Go and try to look into this shit, only to find out that there wasn't actually a fucking definition in the short amount of time, and I'm talking less than 2 years, that there was a definition. It was literally just the acknowledgement and recognition that you are witnessing, or you are indirectly aiding and supporting something that is corrupt, whether it's the government or a block of fucking cheese. And then literally 2 years later, it became, you're woke if you're insecure, or you complain about something that I used to like. You motherfuckers are just going to end up fighting each other over something that y'all don't even have a definition for. And I was right. I was fucking right.
Bro, you said something that I it's funny that you said this, because I always heard the word woke, because my uncle is very like pro-black, and it was always the same, stay woke, and it had something
the
to do
original
with,
definition was so much better because it made sense.
It had something to do, and mostly it was always pointing towards the government. Like while something was going on, my uncle would say, "Yo, like when the news was reporting this, the government just passed this bill to do this, that, the other. Stay woke." You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's recognition. It was supposed to be recognition of wrongdoing, or that unfortunately you accidentally supported and aided in something that was morally or systemically wrong, and it's just acknowledgement that there was something wrong happening and you don't want to be a part of something wrong. Now it's whatever the fuck Fox News said it meant that day. That's the problem. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if ignorance spreads and stupid spreads, we lose good shit. And I really do hate that, because there are so many things that could happen or could have happened, and people are scared to let happen, businesses or actors even, because they are scared of how they're perceived. And to be fair, I get it. Your entire career is based off of how you are perceived when you perform and how you are perceived as a person. They have that duality. A lot of us don't have to worry about that. If you're a fucking janitor, I perceive you as an upstanding human being, but I know there's going to be some asshole. If I line up 1,000 people, there's going to be some asshole think, oh, he's only a janitor because he fucked up his whole life. No, he could have fucking just got out of jail and he's fixing his life and he's on the upswing. Or this could be his part-time job because he knows that he wants to do something else and he's going to school in the daytime, and this is one of the only things he can do with the hours that he has, and he's a full-time student. They don't want to go that far. They don't want to go past surface layers. And that's the biggest problem I've seen with almost anybody who pretends to be a journalist. Really, they just got a YouTube account and said that they're a journalist. A lot of them don't get a degree. They don't talk to people who got a degree. They don't learn the journalistic methodology, period. They just say, I'm a journalist, because they think they can just say it and no one will fact check them. I'll tell you immediately if someone's a journalist, because first off, there's only two ways to do it. Do the job without having got the career, and actually do it, not go on what you feel, or literally get the actual training, get the education, get the degree, get in the field. And we don't have that anymore. Now we just have someone, some QAnon fuckboy has a cell phone and he has a YouTube account, sets it to director, and then decides, I want to make long format content talking about my truths. You mean that shit, that's a lie? And all of a sudden, this motherfucker's a journalist and he gets quoted by Fox News. They're supposed to be representing an entire culture. And I'm just like, there is absolutely no way to win.
Yeah, well, it's not just Fox News. It's
no, I mean, that's just the example.
Yeah. CNN, all these motherfuckers, all of them. And the thing was, before we used to be able to depend on somebody's independence, the journalists that they hit the ground and all this stuff and try to give the truth and be
all the good ones don't have internet.
But now, a lot of them, now is more like tribal now. It's like, which side are you on? Like, are you on the left or are you on the right? There's no longer finding the truth. You either on one side or the other, and it's getting really, really bad. And people, like I said, both sides are grifting. Both sides.
There's a grifter. There will always be a grifter as long as somebody doesn't care about anything other than their wallet, which is one of the main reasons why the whole concept of get money out of politics happened. It wasn't always like this. The minute we had people in political positions who were there because they wanted to be there, not because they could fatten their wallet, we actually were getting progress. Ironic, because now, because of so much shit being fucked up by the right and so much shit being cock-blocked and people not doing anything about it on the left, progressives had to come into existence. They had to, because if you sit down and if you were a 10-year-old and you have the internet in this day and age and you watch politics for 10 years, that even though you can't participate till you're 18, the first thing you're going to find out is, okay, we got some assholes over here on the right who think that as long as they're fattening some company's pocket, it's okay for people to be racist and all this other shit and all this other bullshit as long as they fatten their wallet. Fuck everybody else. Then you got these guys on the left who want to call them out, but then 70% of you will literally not do anything about them, or you will tell people, hey, there's nothing you can do about them. Oh, well, let's move on to the few things we can and not even try to get those other assholes out. You gave birth to fucking progressives, because if I'm a child and I see these two assholes, and I see, oh, you know this guy stabbing you in the back, but you're not going to do anything about him stabbing you in the back. Well, I don't want that motherfucker to come at me with a knife. What are you going to do? You're going to go someplace that's not left or right. You're going to end up smack dab in the purple, which isn't censored. You're going to end up in progressive land and progressive territory. Because if you want the truth, not left or right, you just want someone to do the right thing and the honest thing, you're going to soon realize the left will do something right maybe once in a millennium, and the right won't do shit unless you pay them. And if you're not rich, they basically is telling you already, fuck you. So you don't have a fucking choice. But then here comes the internet or video games, which are for the most part politically neutral, because a video game, very few, like maybe less than 20 that have ever existed, sole purpose was to be political in the United States of America's, or represented in the United States of America's political system. So fucking few. So if one person online says any game, asks the question at any point in time, is this game woke? I promise you they're doing it I mean, outside of you, to get attention because they want to start a fight and they want to profit from the fight. So then we're right back to where we started. No one's listening to nobody. Nobody understands what's going on. And we're not weeding out the people who just want to be here to hate. That's what fucking always bothers me, because these problems didn't exist and they don't exist in the gaming spectrum. People just wanted to attach them. If you don't like that a character is not wearing an outfit, the character didn't go woke. It's a fucking redesign. If you don't like that a character is the main character of a video game is a woman and it bothers you, it's not fucking woke. You're just an asshole. But they want to decide that, oh, this thing I don't like is automatically associated with objectively the other political spectrum. It's a fucking video game.
Yeah, well, like I said, the catalyst behind all this is during 2014. The whole Gamergate did this whole thing.
Ironically, that was a fucking accident. That's what really blows my mind. Don't get me wrong. I fucking hate Zoe Berger, but I didn't hate Zoe Berger for accidentally, creating Gamergate. Yeah, she was an asshole, and then she started profiting off of it. No, my problem is like everything she did after that. Dude killed himself because she got away with lying about kidnapping him. We don't even know how that case ended because she literally erased her presence from the internet.
Yep.
Can you imagine that? My friend comes over, we hang, and she respects me enough as a female adult to understand that I am not going to put my hands on her without her permission. This is not, and we're just hanging out. I am not going to assault you, nothing. And you have fun. You tell your friends and family we have fun. And my sister even meets you one day. And then months or years later, I don't fucking hear from you. And you decide, hey, he kidnapped me because you're not getting enough attention anymore. And then her sister comes on and tells the internet, hey, my brother killed himself because everyone took you on your word before he even went to fucking court.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, people are like, y'all, did y'all forget what happened last time we jumped to the gun on shit? Because remember, it wasn't the internet made him feel bad. Because he can just delete his accounts. His boss fired him off of he say, she say bullshit. No confirmation that this was real. And then Byrne noticed him for somebody who he literally respected because she felt like she wasn't getting attention / money anymore. And then that whole ass got in front of fucking Congress. And I'm just like, oh, we are fucked. I was right. I was very right.
Yep. And I didn't know how much of an impact that was going to be.
No one did. No one could have predicted that this level of stupid would get capitalized on to this extent.
Yep.
I thought stupid worked in the methodology of, and this is, I guess I was being naive until I was like 30. I thought stupidity worked like, I don't care if this thing is bad for me. I'm going to still do it because it feels fun or it feels good. No, now stupid is, I don't care if I'm wrong about something. I got to hate something. So that made my Tuesday because that's all I have in my life. Fucking dickless idiots. And the worst part is that there are too many companies who just assume that they are the majority. It's actually kind of depressing. I've had to make videos disputing shit that was never true about companies that stated a long time ago, no, this is in fact a lie. I've done it for this company that was helping find human traffickers that were kidnapping children. And I did it for Marvel because, well, not just because I like Marvel, but because stupid people see a YouTube comment or a YouTube text in their thumbnails, not realizing clickbait is even a thing. And then they'll just regurgitate it like it's the objective fact. Oh, Marvel Comics is dying because their comics are whoa. Marvel Comics is dying because they don't sell like Japan. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I literally had the fucking editor-in-chief say in a room full of people, so yeah, it's actually a lie. Don't believe everything you heard. We've had nothing but explosive growth, and our numbers have been doing better for almost 10 or 15 years straight. If you're worried about how it was 10 or 15 years ago, well, let me remind you, that was the standard. Despite what people think, it was always like that. However, our numbers are expanding and growing now. Normally, now this part, I don't remember if it was him that said it or it was one of the dudes at DC Comics. Anytime I can get in the room with the editor-in-chief, I get in there. But I think it was the DC editor and said, contrary to popular belief, it's always worked this way. But normally when you see those big numbers, that's just because that's a collection of an entirety of a volume. Some people don't buy single issues. They want the entire story from beginning to end. So you can't count their sales until near the end of a year or the end of 6 months. Furthermore, Batman and Superman in particular are so popular by themselves. They're their own merchandising genres. So it's very common for Batman or Batman related books to dramatically outsell our other products. That doesn't mean that the industry is dying again, because people have been saying that because someone decided, because they like Japanese mangas and Japanese comic books, that, oh, that must mean that Western comics are dying. How the fuck do you jump the mental gymnastics for that? Because you like a comic book that came from Japan, all American books are in decline and not selling? There's literally no logic behind it. Oh, well, look at these physical sales. I was like, okay, but they've been selling shit digitally for 20 years. 20 years. Also, those physical sales are not verified. You just said that they're verified because you got them from one distribution company. But one distribution company is not every single country these books are fucking sold in. But people will look at them like they know more than the actual editor-in-chief of Marvel because they made a fucking YouTube video about it. And it still blows my mind to this day. I literally made a video talking about people fucking bald-faced lying, saying that comics are dying, they're trash, people who don't read them. And here's what the editor-in-chief said: we've been making money hand over fist. We're in a boom and a renaissance. So they're literally lying, and you can tell them I said that. And who's gonna know better? Someone who's randomly on the internet who Googled a distribution center, or the fucking editor-in-chief?
Well, somebody's lying, because a lot of comic book companies are shutting, not comic book stores are shutting down because
no
one
the
is
digital
coming
sales
in
are fucking murdering them. It's the same with game retail. That's why what was it, Xbox got kicked out of that one European store, because they were starting to do one-to-one and also the Game Pass, and everybody had collectively decided that digital sales can no longer happen at physical retail stores. Because remember, you used to be able to buy a digital game, get the code for it, and then go get that game digitally. They stopped doing that. Sony's one of the first people to do it. They're fine. The problem is that the digital market always hurts the physical market. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It's the same with music. Music didn't stop selling. They all started getting digital and they started getting on streaming. So what does that mean? That means that there's going to be less CDs. It happened with cassettes, and it happens on and off with vinyl. This is nothing new. And that's what people don't seem to understand. A comic book store going out of business does not mean that the comics didn't sell. It means that they, as a retailer, cannot pull in customers, because Marvel has proven that the minute they went online and they got their shit digital, they've been doing stupid money. And a reminder, they make more profit from a digital sale, just like with a video game, than they do a physical. So if they get a $2 return off a single issue, but if they go online, they get someone on a $10 a month subscription, they get a couple million people on a $10 a month subscription, and then they also have digital sales via Comixology and third-party apps where they can get 70 to 80% of the profit. They are pissing money off of those comics that people think, quote-unquote, no one is buying. And that's what people don't seem to get. You will never get a company's full sales data because they don't owe it to you. And on top of it, even if you're a shareholder, they do not have to give you independent copies of the data. And if they do give it to you, you're signing a contract that states you can't show and tell anybody, and if you do, they can sue you. Like, this is not anything new. We didn't find out that Resident Evil was the second highest selling property that they had behind Monster Hunter until they publicly told us. But guess what? None of that accounts for how many times these games have been sold used. They don't get any money from a used game sale. So for all we know, they could have made 5 million copies, but 30 million people could have played it, but they only got profit from 5 million. The numbers are never given to us as the consumer, but because one idiot said that, oh, these comics are dying because they're woke, the whole entire internet decides the shit's true. It still blows my mind to this day, man. Literally had 2 different editor-in-chiefs tell me they're fucking lying. And if they weren't lying, why do I still have a job? Why are we still pissing millions? Contrary to popular belief, movie money does not correlate to going and funding the fucking comics. Movie money goes to Disney. Disney keeps the lights on. But if we didn't make money, Disney can turn our lights off. And it's Disney. If you ain't making them money, they will force you to, or they're going to put you in some vault and never to be heard from again. And last I checked, they haven't stopped selling comics. Rant over.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the only reason I even know that is because I actually took the time, like you do, to actually research what the fuck is going on. Because too many people just took shit at the word and then regurgitated it like it was the gospel.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said, a lot to be learned, and everything. That's why I try my best. I keep telling my audience, I try my best. Like, yo, like I'm not here to to tell you what you want to hear. Like you can,
Exactly, and you
I
can't
want
be,
people to,
because that's
I
an
let
echo
people,
chamber.
yeah, I let people know. That's like, keep telling people, like, yo, I'm not trying to cultivate an echo chamber. I'm going to say things that you're going to disagree with, and I am completely fine with that.
Thank you. That's the whole point of my channel.
Uh, yeah, I'm not going to block you because you said something that I don't agree with or say something I don't like. You're welcome to voice your opinion
Oh,
here.
I'll
I don't
block you
care
if you
what.
racist or an ignorant jackass, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, if you racist, like you like I got a whole audience. My audience would eat them alive. So like, that's another thing I used to say on my live streams, because every once in a while, and this is what I also learned too, man, about people. Some people just say things because they know they can get a response and reaction out of you.
Yeah,
Sometimes don't even necessarily mean
professional
they're
assholes.
yeah, yeah. They sometimes doesn't even necessarily mean they're racist. They if I'm arguing with somebody and if you fat as shit, I'm gonna call you a fat fuck. It doesn't mean that
But
it
yeah,
doesn't mean I'm fat phobic. It doesn't
exactly.
mean
It
that,
just means
or
you
not.
hate that person individually.
Yeah, I'm going to say something that's going to hurt you and piss you the fuck off because I know that that's something that's going to trigger you and that's going to piss you off and stuff. So even in my streams, and this happens rarely, but I would have somebody that will come in and say some racist shit to me, and I used to tell my stream, I said ignore the trolls because these people get a kick out of saying things that they'll know that will get a response out of you and stuff. So one time I was on the stream and these people were just yapping away. I was monkey, nigger, I was all kinds of other stuff, you know, and I didn't even respond to it. I didn't even respond to it at all. I just kept chatting and stuff. And my chat was trying to argue with them. I said, no, let the trolls. If you feed the trolls, they're gonna stay around longer. They're gonna stay around even longer because they know it gets a rise and they'll stay here or whatever.
Just get rid of
So after a while, when the chat didn't it was ignoring them and I was ignoring them, and then the troll came in and said, you know what? I respect you guys. You guys are not feeding into it. He said, y'all guys have a good day, and they left. You guys have a good day, like, cause I'm not like the moment I get pissed off at it, they get a rise at it. They gonna just double down on it, and then it just become a shitty experience for me and everybody. So that's how I combat it. Just don't acknowledge them. The moment you acknowledge them, that's what gives them the power, and they'll just keep doubling down on it and shit. And then they'll have a reason to keep returning back to your stream because they know it pisses you off. And I don't let name calling get me. I really don't, because it makes them look stupid when, damn, I didn't get the reaction that I thought I was going to get from this person from calling them this, and then they look fucking stupid, and then they end up leaving, or like I said, my audience would end up chewing them alive, and then they like, damn, like, all right, I need to get the fuck out of here. But yeah, man, I tell people like, yo, don't, like, if you came here thinking that I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, then this is not the channel for you.
Yeah,
you know, this is not the channel for you.
Yeah, I don't hate the concept of an echo chamber, depending on this context. If it's political, sometimes that's okay if it's leading in a positive, progressive direction. If it's general, like you have a friend who literally has a personality disorder, so they think they're like always the worst person ever, but everyone knows they're noble. You gotta reinforce until they can get to, you know, medical attention that they need. Hey, listen, you're not a piece of shit. You're not an asshole. Stop calling yourself that. You're one of the coolest people I know. Da 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 da. But almost every other time, you know, I don't see it being a positive. But I mean, I would like to say I deal with a lot of trolls, but I got one of the weirdest situations going on. So I've had explosive growth, like for some reason, starting back in February, right? So like I made partner in like 2 months, in only 2 months of actually putting effort into it. And that was only because I had shit to do. I had a surgery. I couldn't work at the time back in February. I was like, you know what? Let me try to at least boost this up just to, you know, have something to do. Right? Because I know YouTube is not anybody's friend. That's why everyone and their mom's on Patreon, because they know even if you do everything right, YouTube can fuck you, and then they have the perfect excuse. We don't know how our own algorithm works, because that's a good idea to not fix that problem. And then, you know, you just fucked. I know people it's happened to. I literally went to high school with someone who made it to 1 million subscribers back when that shit was hard. And she's never been able to get past like 20,000 views for like 5 years. And she's had people come in her Discord and tell her, I never unsubscribed for you, but they did. They make PG-13 fucking content, and they still get fucked as if they were It's a Gundam or somebody like that. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Trust me, bro. Like it's been like this for years for me, where, bro, I was stuck, like, as far as my subscriber count, man. Like I was stuck at what, 12, like around like 12,000 ish for like 2 or maybe 3 years, man. And a lot of my subscribers would say to me like, dude, like, I come back to your channel, the red subscribe button is there as if I unsubscribe. Like I never unsubscribed to your channel. Like
Yeah.
what the hell is going?
Yeah,
What the
here's
hell
the
is going
crazy
on?
shit I got. I made a video for I got into the beta for a game called Zenless Zone Zero, right?
Yeah, me too.
Oh well, shit. I mean,
Yeah,
I wish it was co-op.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I wish it was too.
Yeah,
I did a
so
video.
the first day I was like, they got a cool intro system up because it's people watching the TV and they're channel surfing, which I haven't seen in forever, and it's got the snow. So it's like, I'm doing this for nostalgia, right? So I go and put that video up, right? Tell me why it has 50 views, but 2,000 likes?
Yeah.
And then I even went in my own comment section. How does this have 2,000 likes? But then every other video where there's actual gameplay, it makes more sense. There's a couple thousand views, etc., etc. But I learned, because I looked into my own analytics, the longer videos that get the most attention, I will get like maybe $1 or 80 cents from. But every video I had this year, the big ones at least, that were made a lot of money, like a full $1 or something, were videos that were shorter, but people only got like halfway through them. How the fuck does that logic? The videos that people watch 80 to 90% of that were podcasts like this made pennies. But the videos that are 10 to 15 minutes and people didn't get past the first 10 minutes in a 15-minute video, that made bigger dollars. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm so glad that I don't place my value on internet perception, and that my income is not coming directly from YouTube, because this is the reason why half of them lose their fucking mind. Even if they don't do anything wrong, I get why they lose their mind now. This shit is, it pissed me off.
Dude, I'm glad you mentioned this, because the thing I always get in my comment section is like, bro, like you always, it's like, I love your channel because you say things that I'm too afraid to say because I don't want to get canceled or
I
this,
hate
that, and
that people think that
like
even applies to regular people. Look, if you ain't a celebrity, you ain't getting canceled.
Yeah, so well, more so in their real life, like their job or their family members excommunicate them because they have a different opinion, and that does happen because I know people that experience that. But the thing is, I said the main reason why I'm able to voice my opinion and I don't give a fuck is because, one, my success it's all outside of YouTube. I've done all my success, everything that you see in my background, from my comic book company. Everything is outside of YouTube. I make all my money outside of YouTube, so I never had to depend on YouTube for anything. Because that's the problem with a lot. There's a lot of problem. That's the problem with content creators today, is because they put all their eggs in one basket. And at one point, they were like pretty legit content creators, but once they start making that bag, start making that money, they start falling into this whole thing where they have to tiptoe around what they really want. They can't say what they really want to say,
or they don't know what'll happen because they don't think it's a bad opinion, but they're too scared to find out. Like, don't get me wrong, I almost wish I had trolls, like trolls that were on my channel. I have trolls everywhere the fuck else, but it is the weirdest shit. Like I said, I went from, in February, I had like 800 or something subscribers, right? 800. And from February going to now, I'm almost at about 25,000 subscribers, right?
Awesome.
I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you. Shit you not. Go look at 90% of my videos from 2021 to right now. There are no fucking comments. There are less than 3 comments, or there on average is 0 comments. But thank you. But here's the thing that blows my mind about it though. Guess what? Most of the people who originally subscribed to my channel, like way before lockdown, and me and my friends just wanted to hang and talk and do something to not go crazy. Yeah, fucking almost anyone who would comment on a video texted me or emailed me directly. So I'll have a video, 0 comments, but I'll have 40 people questioning me about the shit that I found. But now it's even crazier. I won't get comments. The most comments I've got on a video this year total was like 11. Shit don't make sense to me, but you know what? I've learned to roll with the punches. Here's how I look at it. If I actually get a button, I'll make a button. I'll show my friends that help me get to where I'm at. Because like I said, I'm a group channel. I'm not a solo act. In fact, the fact that you and me are doing this solo is a rarity. And I believe me when I tell you, bro, I don't understand it, but I'm glad that I know myself well enough to not let my entire value be inflated or decreased by a subscriber number. Because the first thing anyone who sees my social media will say and notice is, wait, how are you getting this popular? You've had 400% growth or something like that, according to YouTube, but you have like 2 comments in 4 months. I was like, I don't fucking know, man. YouTube works in mysterious ways.
Bro, yeah, check this out. Because before I got where I am now, people didn't understand, like, bro, how you have 12,000 subscribers, but you only got, like, your views is only like 50 views or 100 views.
Thank you.
Because then people try to accuse me of botting. I'm like, no. I'll say YouTube is doing something fucked up. They're doing, either I'm shadow banned in some sense, because some people are saying like, yo, dude, I didn't get none of your videos. I got the notification bell. I'm getting none of your videos. They said I had to type your name in manually to make sure, you know, if you're uploading, then I go to your channel, I missed about 12 videos. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is going on?
The fact that I even got a sponsor offer, mind you, I only got one for the first time ever a month ago, still blows my mind, because I don't know how they found me, because the only thing I did on the search engine optimization and the AdSense stuff is that I said, do not put right-leaning politics, do not put tobacco or any nicotine products, and do not put sex and sexual paraphernalia in my search history or recommend me to any sponsors like that. That was all I did 4 months ago. No one hits me up. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, hey, listen, we sell an organic product. We're not a scam and we can prove it. Can you put some Magic Mind ads for us in your videos? Like, listen, I'm gonna scrutinize your product to the end of days. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because even though I don't respect YouTube to that extent, I will be damned if I sell my audience a scam. So,
I'm glad you're bringing this up too, because I've been getting a lot of offers. Like, I got
they're real, they're legitimate, but that don't mean the product is.
Yeah. I had got this offer from this Chinese company. They have this controller called the QRD and there's the N5, the N-Spark 5. And I thought they were like a scam or whatever like that, but no, they sent me the website and everything, and then they actually shipped me the controller. So it is like my first like sponsored video I've ever done. Did a thing on that. And, yeah, thanks. And it was this other company that hit me up. They wanted me to use a screen protector for the PlayStation Portal, but I was like, I don't have a PlayStation Portal. It's like, oh man, we really want to work with you. We seen your channel, we seen your views, and we like the content you produce and stuff, but I ain't had no PlayStation Portal. Then had this other company that wanted me to do like the remote control with your computer control with your cell phone or whatever like that. So I'm waiting on a response from that. And then of course Huyoverse, they wanted me to do a sponsored video for Zenless Zone Zero. They hit me up with that.
Yeah, this shit blows my mind. I have more hits than you, and I have only gotten one, and we play the same shit, and we talk about the same shit. But like I said, I'm not the jealous type. More power to you, my brother. I genuinely mean that. I like seeing anybody get shit that they earned. That's how I feel about it. But the shit don't make sense. So either there's some type of system that we don't know about where YouTube has you in a more preferred position than me. And honestly, I'm not mad. My only issue is that here I am talking about gaming and pop culture, getting people's opinions about gaming and pop culture in the realm of media, television, talking about actors, not stalking them like a paparazzi or TMZ, but talking about their body of work, all this shit. And the first person who hits me up is a health food and nutrition company. What? Again, not complaining, because I do value the concept of physical and mental health. But it just blows my mind that not one gaming company has come up to me with shit.
Yeah, it just all changed for me when I did that video at Western developers versus Eastern developers and how they depict women. How Eastern developers, they like when they do the motion capture, the model, the motion cap, the actual actress look like the actual game model. But Western developers, for some reason, just take the woman who looks beautiful, but then in the game she looks ugly as shit. Especially when they do it to black women, they make her look just hideous as hell. So I made a video about that. That has over 100-something thousand views. And then Melanie Mack, it blew up because of Melanie Mack. She saw the video.
Man, I've never seen an idiot that I can't put my finger on. Like, I can't tell. Like, I don't know if this has happened to you, but I've actually had this conversation with ex-Melanie Mack fans, because I'm not gonna lie, I used to be her fan too. Like, we can't tell if she's genuinely delusional and doesn't realize she's feeding into ignorance and a lot of racist bullshit, or if she's doing this on purpose like Candace Owens and she just wants to collect a fat check because her YouTube income shrank. We literally don't know if she's just stupid or she's just hiding her racism.
Owens,
we don't know.
Candace Owens, the only thing I don't trust, the thing I don't trust about her is how easily she switched, because she was a flaming lefty.
Dude, I met her in person. It's just money.
Yeah, she was a flaming lefty at one point, because she had this website that was doxing people because of hate speech or whatever it was, and then she disappeared for like 2 months. And then she came back.
She made a video about, hey, well, I think I might delete this video later. I just want to say, my views haven't changed, but you're going to start seeing content that's a little like, wait a minute. Melanie Mac did in a video that was almost the exact same.
She came back as Candace Owens came back as a conservative. Because like I said, I lean, I find her transformation or whatever you want to call it kind of skeptical. That's why I don't trust. Like, I remember who she used to be. I remember what Candace used to be, and then she just transformed over here. I'm like, something is not adding the fuck up.
Yeah, and that's what I said about Melanie Mac. Because see, Candace, I understood. Candace sold out for money. Because you don't know this. It's not a secret per se. I didn't sign no contracts, so I could name names. But the problem was, this was 10 years ago, so I don't remember the motherfucker's name. There are actual companies that try to pay people to switch sides once they get a certain level of popularity.
I heard. I can't remember who
but here's
said
the
it.
fucked up part. Those people have to sign an NDA contract stating that they will not say who recruited them. I was like, that's fucking weird. Because you're gonna be in the public eye still. You're just gonna be fucking around with Ben Shapiro. You failed in society if you fuck around with Ben Shapiro, but that's a whole nother mess of shit. And I'm just like, wait a minute. How the fuck did Candace Owens go from being the exact opposite of this guy, of Ben Shapiro, to basically being recruited and hired by him? And then I remember it wasn't her cousin. It was just somebody she either went to college with or somebody who knows her and knows me. They was like, oh, you ain't heard? And she showed me on her phone this big ass contract thing that basically stated that you're going to get paid a ridiculous amount of money if you make X amount of videos within a year or over the course of like a couple years in like 6 and 7 figures, if you can make it look like you are trivializing, demonizing, or essentially shitting on your own people, shitting on the concept of civil rights, and legitimately shitting on the concept of progressiveness or anything that's not right-leaning ideology. And I'm just like, bro, why are you not telling people about this? So then she scrolls all the way to the bottom in some big red print. And it basically said that you mentioned this, we got your ass because we go into fucking court and you are not going to win shit. We going to own your soul.
Yeah, some people try to accuse me in the comment sections that I'm grifting or
no. They're wrong. I know how they got that way, and I'm sorry you have to go through that, but no, the people haven't seen this video, but for people who are curious about it, going from someone who went through about I want to say 4.5 hours of your content, I can say with confidence, Mugen Lord is not a grifter. In fact, he is right. There are things me and him will not agree on, but guess what? That doesn't make him a fucking grifter, and he's not out here to get attention from assholes for the sake of getting profit from assholes. That is the job of, ironically, people like Melanie Mac, Ben Shapiro, and not Melanie Mac. Ben Shapiro confirmed, Candace Owens confirmed, Melanie Mac's 50-50. We don't know if she is just an ignorant idiot or she's easily manipulated by a fat check. And what's wrong with throwing somebody under the bus if I'm never gonna fucking meet him?
Yeah, and like I try to tell people, I say, I can't control the people who agree with me. This is my beliefs. This is what I believe. I can't control if a person happened to be a racist and agree with me. I can't control that.
I know it sucks. I actually said something one time ever in my life that me and Ben Shapiro agreed with, and it fucking sucked. But I had to spend a week reminding people, bitch, I'm not a conservative. That was so weird. Like he had a problem with the potentiality of over medicating young people. Not because, the doctor's not paying attention. No, the problem is that the young people are not stating that the medication is too effective. So if a doctor doesn't know this, they can't lower the dosage, even though most doctors will tell you first time you get a medication, if you feel too weird or if there's too much of a dangerous effect on you, let me know. I will lower the dosage, because that's what you're supposed to do. But a kid doesn't think to tell a doctor this, and the parent can't say anything because, well, they're not the one taking the medication, right? And that's what I agree with. There's a potentiality, a dangerous potentiality to over medicate children because they don't properly communicate that I think that this medicine is too potent, right? But then all of a sudden, that means that I hate my own people. I'm half Creole, but no one ever remembers that shit. And fuck all women and all this other shit. Like, no. Me agreeing with something before Ben Shapiro even said it does not equate to me idolizing that man or thinking he's my hero and other bullshit.
And that's where the tribalism comes into
political
play.
tribalism.
That's where it comes into play. Because like I said, there's some people on the left that, hey, I mean, I agree with everything, but I find something in common that I do agree on. It doesn't mean that I'm on that side either. Just like we're humans, there's things that we don't agree with and things that we do agree with, but it doesn't mean that we automatically on that side. It's like with this whole thing, it's either all or nothing. You know,
are you with us or against? If you're not with us, you're against us mentality. I fucking hate it. Honestly, that's why I enjoy being a progressive, because I can look at anybody and go, fuck you, that's wrong. Well, that's your opinion. No. I stop voting based on how I feel. I vote on what's going to help the collective. That means I have to care about you, your mama, your sister, your brother, your unborn children, and my unborn children, and how we're going to affect their next generation, and other people who we affiliate with as Americans who live in other countries, foreign and domestic, and all this other shit. And then they look at me like I'm crazy. I was like, no, you understood exactly what I said. That means I'm not right, and that goddamn show ain't right, and that means I'm not left. I used to be, but I got saddened and depressed by it, because the first thing you learn, well, when you wake up, or as they say, you go woke, go broke, the more right you try to do, no pun intended, the more right as in morally conscious, left-leaning democratic ideology you try to get to happen, the less chance you have of it happening or being permanent, because someone's always going to come behind you and try to change it, or a corporation's going to go behind you and they're going to pay people to literally cock block you. Like, that's the best way to describe it. They are cock blocking anything that's going to benefit the collective because they care about the business and the wallets that they have from a shareholder instead of the whole fucking nation. And that's why I have the ethos of get money the fuck out of politics. I'm not saying don't make money from your own goddamn job. I'm saying you should not be going to fucking dinner with the CEO of a business company who magically finds a way to give you $2 million, Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, the dirtiest motherfucker ever. And I'm just like, that wouldn't happen if the entirety of the nation or the political system got rid of the concept of thinking that only two different parties are worth mentioning. Reminder, we have almost 70 political registered types in North America, but who are the only three we've been hearing about? And the third one is really new. It's left, right, and progressive. So here I am over in progressive land, the fucking baby. I'm watching mommy and daddy dysfunctionally fight all the goddamn time and barely get anything done because one's a sellout and one doesn't give a shit about trying to do the right thing if they're gonna get paid to look away, or they're gonna get paid to be a sellout, just like a little old righty. So I'm just like, okay, so if there's 100 Democrats right here, 4 of you are going to be trying to do the right thing. That means that those four people, AOC for example, now has to worry about fucking 80% of your own base being 50-50 on if they're going to support you, and the entirety of the right coming at you. It's literally an uphill battle. I'm like, we just need a brand new system. We need something that doesn't allot for ignorance, racism, bigotry, and greed. And the only people trying to do anything remotely like that are people leaning far to the progressive side, which is further, if anything, is further left than left can be. And I'm just like, am I the only one person who realized that we can't fix anything if we keep infighting? There will be racist bigots and assholes. Just don't give them a political seat. Don't give them political power. There will be people who sell out for money. Kick them the fuck out or put them in jail. And if we actually did that, we wouldn't even be, I don't even think anyone would recognize America because we'd be such a fucking different country. But Melanie Mac bullshit aside, I guess I should bring this home with how I feel about Mrs. Bond, Miss or Mrs. Bond. I don't know if she's married. So Sarah, let me tell you this right now. Congratulations on your position. I truly respect you, not only as an adult, but as someone who literally had to fight internally and externally to get what you got, because being educated is half the battle. The other half is ignorant perceptions, because there will be people who will shake her hand to her face and call her out her name the minute she leaves the room. There will be people who truly respect her and they're happy and they know she did a good job and she earned where she's at. But the board or two people above them will decide, oh, she's just a diversity hire, as well as the ignorance online. Speaking of, let me go through your comment section real quick, because there were some people I highlighted, not to make fun of them, because, well, I mean, I don't need to have you here for me to make fun of an ignorant jackass, but because people legitimately don't understand what I tell them when I tell them we got some legitimate disgusting people who are not thinking logically, and they are in fact just bigots and racist. Now, the very first comment that you pinned, mugenlord says, "What are your thoughts on Sara Bond being promoted to Xbox Gaming president? Will you give her a chance to prove herself, or is the platform officially dead?" Shit you not. First response, I'm not going to give her a chance. I might send a curse out on her if she messes up. From Spirath Kuroto Mama Moonlight. That is a dumb name and a dumb person. They literally are saying, I don't care about her even trying to do her job well. I'm going to send out a curse because that's going to do something. What, are you a witch? Do witches still curse people? I thought they do hexes. Right? Now, let's move on to Master Aussie. ... I can start to see why this country lowering standards on getting through the door. It's not help a brother through merit, nah. It's to help the sister through DIE. And we see how that is turning out in such a disastrous degree. First and foremost, I don't know what he means through DIE.
Diverse, inclusion, and equity. That's the initiative that
but here's the problem with this ignorant statement. Number one, that's not how she was hired. Number two, a diversity hire does not mean they got the job because they're not Caucasian, which trying to convince a Caucasian person of that has been one of the biggest mysteries of life that there will ever be. That should be the knife wonders of the world. How are you this stupid? Diversity, for the ignorant, inclusion, equality means that somebody is going to go and recruit people or groups of people who are qualified for a job who normally are not considered because the majority don't know where they are. That's it. It's not, oh, let's go through a Rolodex and let's see whose skin tone is popular this month. Oh, Mexicans are in this season? Yeah, let's go get a random Mexican who doesn't know shit. No, you fucking idiots. And I shit you not, there will be people who make videos lying about how shit works. And it bothers me, this type of ignorance. Moving on. Kindon L. Taylor 51111 states, at Mugenlord, this will not bode well. No basis for that. That's all you got, homie? I mean, at least have one sexist comment. Let's see. Let's just read the next guy just out of curiosity. Game Boy Nitro. This will be the last one because we'd be here all millennium. Last time we put a woman in charge of a big corporation, it destroyed Star Wars and Bud Light. Until BlackRock and ESG is eliminated in this country, I'm not giving any of these hires the time of day. Let me just go ahead and hit that dislike button real quick. I'm just sitting up here like, notice how nothing they said is based in reality. What did you say earlier and I say earlier? She only moved up one position. She got the job because she was qualified for it. She was not hired because she was not blonde, blue-eyed, or brunette and brown-eyed or green-eyed. She got the job because she was qualified for it. Also, nobody said she was a DIE hire. Also, DIE hires should not be stigmatized because the entirety of the concept of stigmatizing DIE was born from racist ideology that is not rooted in reality. When there's a diverse hierarchy at a company, and this is coming from someone who was a recruitment agent for about 5 months, an independent recruitment agent. So you couldn't get more distant from the company than me. We had rules, regulations, and guidelines, and they would tell us we would like diversity hires. We do not know where these people are, but here are the requirements and qualifications, and they will be identical to the regular qualifications listed on Indeed, LinkedIn, and what was another one that was really popular for a little bit? ZipRecruiter, right? The only difference will be we want you to specifically look for people in underserved area, meaning people who are qualified for the job, but we don't know where they are. Disenfranchised. They want disenfranchised people. I swear, if they change the word diversity to disenfranchised, I shit you not, no one will be complaining. And then we go and look for those people. But guess what? They still have to be good at the job. This woman's background, at least according to what I found on LinkedIn earlier, she is overqualified for the position, and she actually plays video games. But like you and I both knew before we even knew her name, when we saw that it was a sister, we knew immediately, well, here come the cheat heads. Where the not Klansmen at, what they got to say. And it just rolled off the hill. And of course, the sexists, you almost don't have to say anything. They just spawn out of thin air. Oh, I'm not giving her a chance. Why put a woman in charge of something? That sounds like a bad idea. And I'm just like, okay, so you can't do a better idea. You don't have a recommendation for a better hire, but you decided she's a failure and a piece of trash because of her sex and the color of her skin. But you're not racist or sexist, right?
Yeah, like I said before, man, a lot of that have to do, man, is like I said, when the news came out, like these journalists, like I said, everybody's focused on color and gender and stuff. And that's the problem with that left in this ideology. It's all about color and stuff like that. Because not once, like I said before, none of these journalists, when the news is made, all they worry about was she was the first woman of color. It wasn't about how good she was and what other things she's done. It was just about her skin color.
And the worst part is that I understand it on some level, because you got to think about it. This is historic news, period. This isn't like, oh, it's historic because African Americans decided to. So no, literally, this is a part of history. There has never been a woman this high up in the food chain of a game system company, period, ever. The closest we got was Ouya, but guess what? People don't even know if that counts as a game system.
Yeah, the Ouya, we've seen how that turned out too. But with her and Bond's case, that's why I said let me look into this, because these journalists are not doing their job to at least highlight this sister in the best way possible. Everybody just focus on her skin color, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a damn about your skin color.
Yeah, I care if you do a good job.
I just would do a good damn job. So I was like, let me check this sister out. So I had to do my own research because the journalists failed to fucking do it. So I started looking through. I said, damn, not only that she's a gamer, like she has credit to a lot of things that she has done in her career.
Let me give you her LinkedIn. Like, she's in my outer network. I might interview her one day, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's where I got the information from her LinkedIn, and there was interviews that from there was like smaller channels who had the opportunity to talk with her, and she was able to give out her credentials there and the things that she's done. But none of these journalists highlighted any of that. The only thing that was important to them was that she's a woman, and if she's a woman of color, and that does a discredit to minorities.
Yeah, because here come the assholes. When the assholes, you give them something to latch on that isn't Caucasian, they don't care what's going on. Fuck them just because they not us, and then they act like they're in the right. Like that's why I say I don't feel like it was her fault. There was nothing she could have done. If she was coming and going, if she stepped down, people would have got mad at her, because why would you step down? You would have made literal history. If she stayed on, look where we are right now. She doesn't even start her job till 2024, and everyone's saying, fuck Xbox. No, you can't have a woman be in charge of this. Oh no, the entire game system's gonna go woke. Bitch, how the fuck does a game system go woke? What type of programming you gotta put in, or what type of juice and wood dust you gotta make with the fucking motherboard to make a game system go woke? Is it woke when I turn it on, or was it woke when I pulled it out the box? Like, they don't care if they make sense or not. So I will say this to just summarize how I feel about you, Miss Bond, or Mrs. Bond. Listen, you have a hard job. Your job was hard before there were assholes involved, and I can say assholes because this is my channel, and that's what they are. Anyone who hates Sara Bond for simply existing, even though she has not been bad at her job, she has not been fired from Microsoft or Xbox by proximity, are assholes. Because you're sitting up here saying, I don't want to go by who you are as a person. I want to go by what I see. And since you don't look like me, I don't want to see you. Which is the definition of racist ideology, sexist ideology, misogynist ideology. I just like how they all hate each other individually, but they can come together to hate on Sarah. That's just ironic. Fuck y'all. But no, I wish you the best of luck, despite me literally being someone who is never going to buy whatever the hell the next Xbox system is, and has not owned an Xbox system since, what was it, 2011? Let me go back to what I said. I know I said some shit. Like, okay, this is what I said starting at the 6-minute mark. This article didn't say or imply that they are forcibly trying to get more female employees in the gaming division. It was just a coincidence that people in positions of authority, based on someone retiring and everyone shifting up, having more female field positions left over, created this situation. And it didn't matter what I said because everyone ignored it because it wasn't hate-filled. So I wasn't going to get no likes on it. I'm okay with that. But it needed to be said, because if someone doesn't point out when people stop using common sense, then we've lost as a species. Humanity will now become the dumbest animal on the planet, because we've removed ourselves from the concept of being able to discern the difference between how we feel and what actually is in front of us. We have someone who has not been given the chance to prove that she's capable of a job that she got because someone retired, which, as we both claim, is the most basic common sense of business. You shift up. We do it in the military. If some guy dies and they knew how everything worked and they were in a position of authority, yes, we do try to get a replacement in, but until we find a replacement that can go over to some area that's combat related, they told us the first thing they do, they temporarily rank up the next person. I had a sergeant who was a staff sergeant, but he temporarily got pushed up as a first sergeant, and then he explained what happened. The guy above him got shot in the head. He wasn't coming back to the job, but they needed someone to fill the position for 5 months. So he filled the position until they could get someone. And I'm just like, oh, I get it. I understand it. But no, this is the internet, which means we can't have nice things. We can't have a noble Melanie Mac who was completely content neutral. Nope, we got to have an asshole with a bunch of tattoos now. I'm sorry, but it just blows my mind. How are you so stupid that you almost died from forgetting to drink water? Seriously? Like,
I don't know. Like I don't.
That happened. Did you know about that?
No. I mean, I watch her content sometimes.
Bro, that was okay.
So I have no idea.
So the main reason no one could tell if she was on purpose becoming a racist right-leaning ideology, trying to promote their shit indiscriminately and manipulate people into that BS ignorance, was because someone said, well, what if she's just so stupid she doesn't know no better? And she's like, she has to know better. And someone came in some Discord chat and they said, did everybody forget that she's so stupid that she almost died forgetting to drink water, and then she tried to delete it? I was like, no, you have to prove that. You can't just say that. He said, cool, I got receipts. Showed us the entire thing. She even put her own picture of her own IV laying in the hospital. I'm just like, holy shit, she was so dumb. She almost died from forgetting to drink water. I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even going to pick on you. Like, I'm not even going to try to find out and ask you or interrogate your content to figure out. I don't think I care anymore, because I think I'm at a point where, like, much like with Candace Owens, I'm just depressed by Melanie Mac. So I'm just going to unsubscribe from you, dislike you, and I'm going to do the one thing people forget to do on YouTube. If you hate somebody and they keep showing up, right click the buttons when they're in your drop feed and hit do not recommend channel, or hit not interested in the topic, or do both, and then block that channel. And I'm just like, okay, Melanie Mac is now out of sight, out of mind. Like, she legitimately, now the only time I have to worry about her or even think about her is when I have a conversation like this. Is like when people say, did you notice that she started doing this thing and it makes no sense and it's really dumb? And then that one time she started coming at the new design of April O'Neil, and when she tried to explain it, she literally couldn't, because everyone told her exactly what it looked like. Hey, you look kind of racist when you shitting on someone for being fat and black in a children's cartoon that has no effect on your life. I was like, what the fuck does she do now? And I was like, I watched the video. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. I'm glad she's out of my life. I don't need that level of, are you or are you not a racist idiot or not? I don't need that in my fucking life. But Sara now has to deal with these types of people for the remainder of her career. I'm not even joking. If she does well, you know what they're going to say? Well, that's because some man did something, or Sara didn't do anything. These were already good game developers. She just got out of their way. Or if she doesn't do well, typical black chick, what would you expect? What did you think was going to happen? And then they're going to feel like they're right, and they're going to be confident in their own ignorance and racism. Sara, I feel for you. I do. Even if I was not partially of your same ethnic origin, I would know from the outset you have an uphill battle. So I respect you for staying, and I appreciate you for making history and trying to do the right thing. Because you and I both know, Mugen Lord, the most important thing you can do as a game system developer or head of a game development team, and you're a part of the one that has the systems, is to make products that people want, that are good choices, and make products that people are going to play. Because that is 2 jobs. Yes, appeasing your overlords is always going to be a thing. That's how jobs work. But she has to have essentially three different bosses. She has to have the consumer. She has to have her direct superior, and she has to have the board of it, the board.
Yep.
While she's dealing with the pressure of scumbags. So I respect you. I look forward to hearing good things and great things from you. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to play your stuff. But I will support you from a distance, because I love the idea of occasionally just diving into a comment section, liking people who, you know, saying, hey, give her a chance. You know, people with the mugenlord ideology. Hey, don't be like this. Don't be a hate monger. Don't be an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. But I also like hitting the block button on human pieces of shit. Because if I argue with you, you're just going to get rock hard and you're going to stay in my life and try to be some type of tumor that I don't need. But if I blacklist you, I don't have to think about you, and I won't even remember your fucking username when I go to bed that night. She doesn't have that luxury like we do anymore. She has to listen to ignorance. So yeah. I hope her parents raised her in a positive mindset, made sure she understood, yes, some things will be harder for you because you're a minority, and some people will assume just because you're doing well, it's because somebody pitied you, which first and foremost, that's not even remotely been true for almost every single person who had a leg up. It's most people who got extremely successful is because of some level of nepotism. Contrary to popular belief, even though nepotism is seen as immoral, it's not technically considered illegal. It's only illegal on the federal level, and you have to prove it, which is fucking hard. So most people, doesn't matter if they're minority or not, if you got big in this country, it's probably because of some level of nepotism, or it's because somebody decided to give you a shot. But no, they just decided she got the job because, oh look, she looks like Nutella. No. You are a qualified individual. You are a smart woman. And I hope that you have the strength to deal with the level of stupid that you're going to have to possibly for the rest of your time at Microsoft. And I genuinely salute and respect you. Honestly, even though I am not an Xbox fan, I'll say this. If I see you in person at E3 or something, I would love to, at a bare minimum, get your autograph or shake your hand if you don't let me interview you. I respect you that much. And I can say that as someone who literally has not owned a system after Xbox 360. And I know for a fact a lot of people can't, because they can't remove their own ignorance or bias. So that's how I feel. I wish you luck, Sarah. I honestly do. I know you're not gonna hear this, but that don't mean I can't, support you from afar. Okay,
yeah,
man. Well, with that being said, mugenlord, you want to leave some closing statements and tell people where they can find you again?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, like I said, you can find me on youtube.com/mugenlord, and you can go on Twitter and twitter.com, or I guess it's X, whatever, it's /mugenlord. And if you have any topics you like for me to cover, I always tell my audience, like, if there's an article that's gaming, but it also has like a social, cultural aspect that we can, look at it through and stuff, and you want to hear my opinion, you can also tag me or whatever. And as I said before, next year I have a comic book series that I'll be releasing, so you can stay tuned for whenever my campaign that I'll have posted up to let you guys know what everything is all about. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you having me on this platform, man. Appreciate it.
No, it's fine. And I'll be sure to link anything you give me. Also, whenever the comic comes out, even if you don't want to do the audio drama adaptation or anything, if you can tell me where to buy a copy, or we can literally just do a whole episode devoted to whatever it's about. I look at it like this way. I'm not here on YouTube to get money. I'm here just to talk to interesting people who may or may not think like me. That's what makes life fun. But if you ever want to come back, you want to promote or talk about something, let me know. Or if you want to join the legitimate token podcast crew, I got an entire server with other people that have been my guests or the homies that help me out with production. And we got no problem trying to get you in on this shit, man. Just make sure you put the server on mute, because I can tell you a lot of us aren't in the same state. I'm over in Chicago, for example. And people will make a post at like 5 a.m. because their 5 a.m. will be like your
Yeah,
5
yeah.
a.m. will be like their 10 a.m. or something.
Yeah, I definitely understand, bro.
Yeah, and I will, like I said, I will make sure you get final approval of the finished version before I upload it. And again, if there's any situation where you felt like you misspoke, I will make sure I go in and edit it out. I've got like 6 videos, but luckily because of how I've been doing Zenless Zones shit, most of those videos don't require a lot of editing. I just got to get them done. And this might end up being, you know, the final video of the year. Like, I literally might release this on New Year's. If you want to promote it or react to it on your channel, go ahead. Or if you want to take the footage and do whatever you want to it, you can worry not. I will make sure that I will not, and no one else will try to copyright strike it. Do what you want to. As far as I'm concerned, it's shared footage.
Okay, awesome, man.
Yeah, and if you're ever in the state or you at a convention, hit me up. And if you ever want to talk to the general manager of the studio that I fuck with, let me know, because we can definitely get some stuff done for you.
Oh man, that's awesome, bro, man. I like what you're doing here, man. I really appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I'm not here to tear down. I prefer trying to lift up. That's awesome. The studio again. I'm gonna pin it for you real quick. Oh, but did you want to go into the MVC3 hacked PC mod server?
Oh yeah, you can send that to me.
Oh yeah, man, yeah, they are some of the coolest people, man. I swear. There you go.
Yeah, I've just been hearing about it. Maximilian talks about it, bro, and stuff like that, but I haven't really like.
I think I'm gonna predict it right now. I think the character you might like the most without even realize it is Asura from Asura's Wrath. And
oh yeah, I saw videos. Somebody was he complete? Did he complete?
Yes, he's complete now. He's complete.
Yeah.
And you're gonna like stupid Virgil, and I call him that for a reason because he's been enhanced with ultra ignorance. This man, he has so many moves, they had to put it on a fucking spreadsheet. I'm not joking.
Damn.
No. Seriously, here's the link. I was playing them all fucking last night. I didn't even get through half.
I'm surprised they didn't put Mega Man Volnut in as a playable character.
You know someone working on him. They put X in, but they made him work better than the MVCI version.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, this
oh, and Spider and Ghost Spider can get her Venom symbiote suit as a transformation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I got Sea Viper being turned into Tifa Lockhart, but you know, since that one's not a Marvel or a Capcom character, it's not going to be advertised. But once it's finished and they give me the file, just let me know if you want it, and I'll pass it your way. Also, you know, if you ever want some commission shit done, hey, that can happen. I don't know if you play DNF Duel or not.
I got it on PC.
Okay.
DNF Duel.
So have you seen that Tifa Lockhart mod where she can wear her regular and Advent Children outfit?
Bro, I only have the game. I haven't really played it or looked into it. Yeah, I've been so out of the loop of fighting games. I've been buying fighting games.
Yeah, there's too many. There was none, and now there's too many.
Yeah, I've been so out of the loop.
Yeah, bro, I only play 2 at a time because I like keeping my sanity. So, but no, with DNF Duel, I realized immediately like half of the cast can be converted into Final Fantasy VII characters. So now I'm hell bent on making Final Fantasy DNF Duel. So Battle Mage, which comes out on the 18th, it only cost me like maybe 60, 70 bucks, and I can get her turned into Aerith. I already had Kunoichi turned into Yuffie. I had Striker turned into Tifa. I can't find a good one for Cloud. It's kind of hard. But Vanguard, he might be turned into Sid for the low price of 60 bucks. And that Brawler guy, that's Reno. That's fucking Reno. But you know, I might do him last because he's not a main core character. But yeah, if you ever want to do some more collab content, say the word, man. And hey, you know, once you get this, like I said, if you can react to some of it, you ain't got to watch the whole thing. I would love to get, you know, some of your audience to bleed over into mine, because I want to see more than 1 comment per year on a video. You actually get comments. I don't. That's the one thing I'm not gonna lie, I'm envious of. I respect your gangster.
Bro, it didn't start that way.
I know. That's the weird part.
My problem was, like I said before, at that time I had 12,000 subscribers, and then all of a sudden I turned around, like none of my comments was matching and none of the views was matching to my subscribers. It just wasn't making any sense. But like I said, it wasn't until Melanie Mac, because people that's now commenting it's a mixture of Asmongold, Melanie Mac, and Razor Fist, because Razor Fist ended up passing me around. And who else passed me around?
Hey
Solid
man,
Rev.
I hate to say it, man. I mean, some terrible people in there. Asmon's pretty cool, but hey, at least you benefited from it in a positive way. Because you know, if an asshole come up too much, you're gonna block him or ignore him. But I'm just mad you have any comments that aren't someone you know personally texting you 40 times over about a video you did a year ago.
And most of them, and then I have a good portion is from my Discord. My crowd from my Discord is comments and stuff. But yeah, most of it's a mixture across between Razor Fizz, Melanie Mac, Solid Rev, Asmon Gold, and 2 other big content creators who seen my video. So it's a cross between their people who are now my base, some of my base now.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that's a very interesting mix, but hey, I respect your gangster. You earned it, homie, and you know, I hope you get nothing but more positive things going on in your future, as long as you know you don't let this shit get to your head, or you don't base your perception of you as a person solely on subscriber count. But I look forward to seeing what you come up with. If you want to work with me later on, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. And yeah, I would just love to actually fucking have a singular comment on my fucking vids. But yeah, this will be on Spotify, iTunes for the record, and more than likely almost any other place that I can get a podcast distributed. But obviously, you know, the video version will come out first, just because I know your primary audience is on YouTube, and I don't want to lean it on my side. It's supposed to lean towards the guest side. But with that being said, thanks for listening / watching, and subscribe to the homie mugenlord. You'll see right now, you should be seeing his icons and channel stuff show up on the screen, and I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all stay safe, stay woke.